The Mindful Life Practice.
So we're going to drop into some stillness. Bring yourself into a child's pose. You can sit your hips down on your heels. And then rest your forehead. Move this stuff out of Princess's hands so she's not being too disruptive of us. As you drop into your shape, start to go inside. Taking deep breaths in and out. Letting your inhale fill up your belly and maybe press against your thighs. And then as you exhale, settle into your shape. Deep breath in, filling the lungs, filling the chest. And then exhaling to release. And then just trying to feel what's going on inside with you today. How's your mind feeling? How's your body feeling? I remember when I first came to yoga 10 years ago. Very open with this. I don't keep it a secret that I came to yoga for my mental health. And at that point in my life, I was so disconnected and I was so anxious and I was struggling so much that I had really lost myself. And what my yoga practice became for me was a place of coming home. So I worked with this theme last night, and if you were with me in our vinyasa practice, then you've heard it before. Let's see if we can carry on with this intention tonight. carry on with this intention of just coming home and turning inward. So we're going to stay here for a few more breaths. And as you're in this shape, breathing, just listen to the sounds around you. Feeling the sensation of the clothes on your body. Noticing any aromas inside your nostrils. Any tastes inside your mouth. Maybe if there's any changing colors behind your eyes. See if you can slowly start to let go of these senses one by one. Taste and touch. Smell. Sight and sound. Start to fade out as you draw inward towards yourself. Just notice your senses start to give way to more subtle sensations within. Almost as if you were shining the spotlight of concentration into the dark waters of your body or cave of your heart. We're going to stay in our child's pose for about 5 more breaths. And then after your 5th round of breath, let's slowly make our way up into a table. And then we're gonna slowly and gently warm up the body, okay? Just a little bit of movement before we drop into stillness. So take an inhale and lift your heart and lift your chin. This is called your your cow. And then exhale, curl the spine and tuck the chin. This is your cat. So keep moving on this rhythm. Just moving slowly and gently. Taking a few more rounds of breath. Then take one more round. And then let's gently come into stillness. And then you're just going to C-curve the body and gaze over the right shoulder. And then come all the way back through center and then C-curve the opposite way. Just taking one more of each. Coming all the way back. And then let's just take one little back bend. So we're gonna come into a puppy pose. So you're gonna walk your palms forward and then lay either your chin on the mat or your forehead on the mat. And just kind of drop into this shape and drop into stillness. We are going to be here for about 3 minutes. I'm going to share with you a passage from our book club book, Meditations from the Mat. Rolf writes, everybody seems to feel that yoga is the solution. But what exactly is the problem? What is it that makes life so hard? The things over which we feel anguish can be summed up pretty quickly. There is loss of those we love. From the unrequited high school crush to the death of a loved one. Loss affects us all. We regret the past, we worry about the future. We feel the pain of ill health, betrayal, disappointment. Then there are gross injustices. War, famine, disease, oppression, and death. Most of us don't spend too much time on these big issues. However, it's the day-to-day stuff that brings us down. Right? Why do I procrastinate? Why do I judge others? Why do I lose my temper? Why do I fail to speak up when I should? Why do I speak up when I shouldn't? Why can't I just be perfect? Why can't my partner be perfect? Why are my kids so annoying? What is the deal? We're going to stay in this puppy pose for just 3 more breaths. And then slowly come all the way up. You're going to shift your weight forward, slowly lie onto your navel, and then let's just take a rest. Coming into your resting pose, your rebound pose, kind of feeling this practice wash over you. Then we're going to get into our hips. You know, I find that I always come back to like similar yin poses every week because I feel like it's the same parts of the bodies that need a bit of our attention. So we're going to take 3 minutes in lizard, 3 minutes in pigeon pose, and then we'll switch it to the opposite side. Okay, so plant your palms, lift all the way up, and then step your right foot forward, and you're going to take it wider than the palms. And then you might be up on the hands, or you might come down onto the elbows, knowing that we will be here for 3 minutes. So early in the Yoga Sutras, this problem is defined as the 5 afflictions: ignorance, pride, desire, aversion, and fear of death. Right? And under these 5 afflictions, we're driven away from our true selves and deeper into the disillusion and despair. So to put it simply, we seek answers outside ourselves, when in fact the answer lies within. Right? Identified with this material world that is completely beyond our control, we are consumed with fear. And this fear, it's at the root of all afflictions, right? Our inability to be happy. And the good news is that yoga deconstructs this fear, and yoga is the path to our true nature. We're going to stay for about 1 more minute, so 10 more rounds of breath. And then let's slowly peel up onto the palms. And then we're going to cross the right leg across the mat. So we're coming into a pigeon pose. So laying the right shin across the width of the mat. Taking a big breath in. And then just slowly start to hinge your body forward. Know that you can prop yourself up in any way with a blanket, with a pillow. Or if your knee is super uncomfortable, you can also do it on your back, right? You can lie on your back, cross your right ankle on the left thigh. So Rolf writes that the problem is being estranged from ourselves. And our yoga practice is about coming home, right? Coming closer to the truth about yourself and finding peace. Just gonna stay on this side for like 10 more breaths. And just bring your palms up. Let's come all the way back into a table. And then I'm gonna let you choose here which rebound pose you wanna take. You could come back onto your belly. I just feel like a child's pose right now. You can also just be seated. Just give yourself this moment to scan what's happening in your body. What has shifted within you because of those poses? For me, I physically feel space in certain parts on the right side, certain parts on the left side. And it's really cool to notice that. And then let's move through those postures on the opposite side. So let's come all the way up. And then just step your left foot forward. So first we're coming into the lizard, so your left foot is wide. And you can either be on the palms or you can be down on the elbows. Know that we're going to be here for 3 minutes. So don't overdo it at the start. Taking deep breaths in and out. When we're in these tricky poses in yin, I think it's like one of the best times for us to really feel what's going on. Right? You get into these postures that are uncomfortable. And you notice your reactions. You feel what's coming up. You know, do you get frustrated when you hold the shape for so long? And what do you learn about yourself in that frustration? What feelings and emotions are coming up? Hips are where we store so much of our tension, so much of our stress. What do we learn about ourselves when that kind of bubbles up and comes to the surface? Let's just take a few more rounds of breath. And let's walk into our pigeon. So you're going to walk the left foot across the width of the mat. And then lay the left shin down and then take your breath in. And then slowly start to come forward. So one more very inspiring thing that Rolf Gates writes. He says, I believe that those of us who practice yoga, we've been sent to yoga by our pain. And we've embarked on this path because we have a hunch that there must be a better way. We've grown tired of our perfectionism, our unhappy relationships with our bodies, our inability to love completely or be loved completely, our endless resentments and sorrows, our sense that we could become greater than we are, but we're somehow blocked. Right? Many of us have had good fortune. We might have loving partners, good jobs, healthy families. We're educated, we had the right opportunities. But we found that arranging our externals in the right way, it just doesn't bring us the happiness that we hoped it would. The resting place seems always to be over the next hill. And we've grown tired. We come to yoga having forgotten where we come from and who we are. On our mats, we find the truth. We're part of the universe. There are no problems. And we are the solution. Let's take one more round of breath. I think you kept you in pigeon for a while there. And then slowly make your way up. And then bring yourself into a rebound pose. I'm just going to sit upright for this one. Take a few deep breaths in and out. Just kind of feel that posture wash over you. And then we're just going to take two more shapes. So the first one we're going to take is our dangle, my favorite. A few variations of this, okay? So you can just come into your neutral dangle, bending the knees, gripping the elbows, just kind of hanging out here. You can also come up to a piece of furniture and then just kind of drape your body. And then the last option is coming towards the wall. This is my favorite, but it's kind of intense and we will be here for a while, so go easy. But maybe you can start walking your body in towards the wall. And kind of using the wall as this prop to get a little deeper. I love forward folding. I find it extremely soothing. The blood flow goes back to the brain.
It calms the mind, kind of centers you. I think it's pretty common for us to have super tight hamstrings, especially in this quarantine time from sitting all day. So a nice hip opening stretch can be a really nice way to kind of get into that part of the body and release tension. We've been here for a few minutes. I'm just going to check my time to see how long we've actually been here. I've just been enjoying it. Let's take one more minute in this pose. Just take 10 deep breaths. And then just slowly start to peel your way up out of that.
And again, just feel the effects of that shape on the body. Let's let that be our rebound, standing in our mountain Tadasana. And we're going to finish with a little bit of a traps muscle stretch. So I'm going to come to sit a little bit closer to you. You're going to come into a seated shape. Oh, it's so nice to be close to you guys. I can see you all. Awesome. So from your seated shape, you're going to drop your right earlobe down towards your right shoulder. And then if you want, you're going to take your right palm and use it as a little weight on your head. And then maybe you lift your left arm to the side. Play with the angle of the hand. Just find what works for you. We are going to be here for about 3 minutes. I will never forget the first time I did this pose in a yoga class. It was with my teacher, Dallas. And I was already a yoga teacher at that point, which is crazy. I had been teaching yoga for a year, but I had never done this pose in a yoga class. And I remember holding this shape, and there were just so many tears flowing down my face, like so many years of just stress and emotion and trauma that I was physically holding onto in my body. I'm a big believer of this theory that our body and our mind are deeply and intricately connected. And we carry our history and we carry our stories physically inside of us. And that's why for me, like just going to therapy wasn't good enough. Right? I needed to physically move my body and like release all of this stuff that was stored inside. Take one more breath. And then just draw your head all the way up to center. Keep your head balancing on both shoulders. Feel the difference from your left traps muscle and your right. And then we're going to drop into it on the opposite side. Okay, so drop your left earlobe down. And then maybe you can take your left palm up. Maybe playing with your right hand. Finding that perfect angle. And bring your head all the way up through center. Just balance your head on both shoulders. Maybe taking any little movements with the head and neck that feel right now. And then we're about to make our way into a final resting pose. And you go ahead and choose what would suit your needs right now. If you want to take Shavasana, if you want to take seated meditation, if you want to take child's pose. Right, you're coming home to yourself, so you're using your intuition. You are listening to what your body needs and you're giving it that. I want to share with you a poem tonight. It's called Wild Geese by Mary Oliver. You do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Tell me your despair, yours, and I'll tell you mine. Meanwhile, the world goes on. Meanwhile, the sun and the clear pebbles of the rain are moving across the landscapes. Over the prairies and the deep trees. The mountains and the rivers. Meanwhile, the wild geese, high in the clean blue air, they're headed home again. Whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination. It calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over, announcing your place in the family of things. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly all your life. You were only waiting for this moment to arrive. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these sunken eyes and learn to see all your life. You were only waiting for this moment to be free. Blackbird, fly. Blackbird, fly. Into the light of a dark black night. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly all your life. You were only waiting for this moment to arrive. Just give your fingers and your toes a little wake up wiggle. Run a nice long stretch through the body, fingertips all the way through toe. Curl your knees into your chest. Give yourself a nice little hug. In this hug, just check in with yourself. See if at the end of your practice, you haven't felt this miracle of healing. See if you do not feel more at home in your body, home in your life, home in your spirit. Sense of coming home is real. We've come more close to the truth about ourselves, and that's why we feel at peace. Slowly make your way up to seated crisscross palms at heart center. We're going to finish our practice together with an Om sound if you want to join. Inhaling and then exhaling. Inhaling through to make the Om. Okay, taking a breath in. And then a breath out. And a breath in. Thank you so much for sharing the space and the practice tonight. The light in me sees and honors the light within you. Om Shanti 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 Peace. Namaste.
The Mindful Life Practice.